Hello, dummies. This is almost embarrassing. It is. I never wanted to have to do this. I've talked a few times about going through with very few things in my life. This being the longest commitment I've had, sincerely. At least to a project. And it makes me feel good. It makes me feel whole. It gives me a place to be me. I think I even say things sometimes that are more me in here than I realize. And sometimes going back and rewatching these reflects that. But there's going to be times, dummies, that I, like an absentee father, cannot always lead the dummies, okay? There will be times that this may be unedited. This may be uploaded from Fulton County. I don't know. I don't know what happened. Okay, dummies? But this is for future, okay? In the event of my falling, in the event that I go away for some weeks and then just come back with a 3DS as my only way of uploading due to extreme poverty. I don't know, dummies. But I'm just saying, I appreciate you being here, coming back to me when I'm on an iPhone 6 in Fulton County, when I have a 3DS in somebody else's basement I'm squatting in, and you guys are there for me. I appreciate that, okay? But it's gonna happen sometimes, dummies. And that's the other part of this. Be there for your other dummies, okay? We talked about selective love, who you can love. Sometimes there's gonna be dummies that you love, and they're not able to be there for weeks at a time. And that's not your fault, but if you stop liking me, it's your fault and I hate you. You understand, dummies? It's good to be back, babies. I think I talked about this. We started on some meds. The doctor was like, I won't give you anything that'll be bad for you. And then I'm like, I have to stop taking these. I don't live on this planet anymore. And they're like, fine. You have to wait 2 weeks to talk to the doctor. I'm like, okay, whatever. So we're figuring that out. I'm just gonna fucking wean myself off instead of just take the drug until I die. But it also was a weird thing, you know, go to the doctor's office. I'm like, hey, I had an appointment today. I had an appointment like a week and a day or two from now, like 9 or 8 days from now. But called yesterday. They said this would be the earliest appointment I could get into. I'm like, oh, yeah, for sure. Let me check. You don't have an appointment. I was like, well, what about my appointment on the... Is that still there? Like, no. Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. And then I was like, well, can I see my doctor? She's like, yeah, he's out of town for at least a week. And I was like, awesome, bro. Cool. Thank you. And so I just moved on. But when I went there, and this woman who has a sign behind her that says, nurses are just superheroes in scrubs. And I'm looking at this woman who has 3 bags of potato chips in her trash can next to her desk. And she's just sitting there looking at me like this, and she goes, did you stop taking the medicine? And I looked at her. Fuck no, I didn't. Jesus Christ, that look looks like I'm gonna end up on the list. It looks like she's like 9-1. Did you stop taking the medicine? Oh, okay, awesome. Well, just hang this on up. What the fuck was that? I was just like, what the fuck? I don't want to end up on some list. All these fucking... I mean, the FBI just like fucking... all these shooters aren't fucking antipsychotics. I don't want to just end up on the like probable shooters list, you know? Just because I fucking took a thing that didn't make me feel good. But we got through that. We're living now. I'm feeling a little better. I'm getting a little... I'm experiencing a pretty heavy fatigue still, but hey, this isn't a doctor's visit, you know? Fuck me. It's also interesting to think, though, like, if I ever do end up in some sort of court system issue again, just thinking about this, like, I was thinking about, you know, being in Fulton County as a joke, like being in a prison as a joke, you know, where I'm like, listen, I've worked my way to the top of the prison system by beating all of the brothers in 2K, you understand? They have a plasma screen in the E block, so as soon as I get in there, I can make my way to the top of the food chain and start getting KFC every fucking day. Okay, that was a little too much all in one. KFC's my favorite food, right? Okay, fine. I'll get a McDouble, right? Fine. I'm eating a McDouble in Fulton County as I've worked my way to the top of the food chain through 2K. But eventually courts are, because you start seeing this more and more, where I just I like to watch these. There's a few Snapchat things I like to watch, right? I'm just going to end up a Q-head. I understand. This is more of a documentation of that. I'm just going to end up some crazy old man who's just like, the internet told me. But it is what it is. I've been watching a lot of these shows. It's called like courtroom somethings, courtroom disputes, courtroom situations. And half the time, not half the time, I'm going to say 90% of the time, it is some guy in court fucking it up. Probably 70% of the time, it's a defendant or another. 80% of the time. 15% of the time, it's probably an attorney or like a bailiff or something, 5% of the time, it's the goddamn judge, right? Like, I just seen it where, and this is just the bell curve, right? Where, like, the judge was just yelling at the guy. He's like, oh, you really think so? Let's take this out back. Let's take this out back to the courtroom. And the judge just fights a guy in the middle of court, a guy with a license to be in a courtroom, and a guy with a license to be a judge. He's allowed to be a judge. And he's like, fine, I know how we'll settle this. I've sentenced many people to many to many punishments, and I know how you and I can solve this. Let's go fight out back and hope you don't die, right? And so, like, there's this thing where you start to see, all right, so the general population, it's decreasing, right? It makes it harder to find a jury that's fair. It makes it harder to find an attorney that's competent, right? I had an attorney got paid thousands of dollars when it came to show up and defend me from a felony in hopes I don't go to jail. He never showed up. And the judge is looking at me like, I'm like, do I look like I've ever done paperwork? I'm in this situation because I've never done paperwork, okay? That's what you're going to tell me, right? So, like, it's just, there's a bell curve that's steadily dropping. And eventually it's just going to be a thing where the judge is just going to not know any of the rules. They're not going to give a shit because the law's too intricate. It's just going to be that the jury has, like, a clapometer, and whoever, like, gets the most applause wins at the end. It's going to be one, like, a fucking, like, it's going to be ridiculous. It's going to be like one of those crowd shows where they pick who's right based off the crowd reaction. It's going to be like a fucking whose line is it anyways. That's what it is. It's just whose line is it anyways in the courtroom to decide if fucking OJ killed his wife or not. Just to decide if fucking, Kyle with the assault rifle fucking killed people in the right or not. If he should have been there, who knows? But that's the other part of this too. The general public doesn't understand the law, and I understand that they haven't for a while, right? But the general public, at least in the 90s, they were like, hey, I'm too dumb to talk about my political opinions. I'm too dumb to talk about this shit. But nowadays, everyone's just so smart, like, fuck it, I'm just gonna, I'm just gonna voice whatever opinion I have. Doesn't matter if it has no if it's not backed up by the law. It doesn't matter if it's real or not. I'm just gonna say how I feel about the law. That's not how the law works. It's intricate, it's logical, there's steps to be followed, right? It's just shout out my new mug. Eventually things are just going to get to the point that it doesn't matter. And that it's just going to be a circus. The courts will be decided on by who's got the better show, just like Johnny Depp and Amber Heard was. All that was a prophecy, right? That's just how we're going to be doing murder trials, and a fucking Charles Manson will just end up being a fucking hype beast influencer instead of getting arrested, right? He's too good at talking. It's not his fault, alright? He just convinced a jury of 12 people, hey, I didn't fucking do it. I'm dressed in Supreme and I got a cross on my head. I'm like 23 Savage. That's me, baby. Like, what the fuck? I did get to see, and this is a good thing, speaking of jail, I did get to see my family. I had a family member that was locked up. He'd been in jail for about 8 years, and a lot of things he didn't deserve had been thrown his way. There was a lot of things that did happen, and a lot of stuff that he had happened in there that really shined a light into the court system, what it does, and really that like nobody deserves any of that. Even the worst people, maybe they do, but how many of those people are there? Because we're doing that to a large percentage of people, you know. But my family has a little baggage, to say the least, right? My mom's side is full of religious lunatics. The other side is just full of fucking just people with personality disorders. And it's fun. My grandpa says to me, though, he says, "You guys want to hear a story?" Hell yeah, Grandpa. Tell a story. I love my grandpa. He always tells the funnest stories. So he's like, "Well, I go up the other day, and I go up to the room, and I keep my gun above the bed right there, just in case anything ever happens. And I'm putting on my socks. I look up. No gun. Where'd my gun go?" "I don't know. Where'd your gun go, Grandpa?" He goes, "I don't know." So I call my aunt. I call your aunt. And I call your pa, and I'm trying to figure it out. And I'm like, "What happened to it, Grandpa?" He's like, "Well, apparently, I don't even remember this." He said, "I don't even think I did this." Okay? I think they just kind of put some words in my mouth sometimes. But apparently I said, "Hey, if I'm not getting any better, why don't we just shoot me?" Why? Not as an exercise, right? If I don't feel any better, can anyone remind me why I should not be shot outside? As an exercise, as a mind altering and stretching, as a moral exercise, maybe. Grandpa, what's going on, Gramps? You good, my man? So I've been calling him more, trying to talk to him, see him more. I've been obviously very depressed, so it's been hard, but I'm trying to do my job and do better at it. Yeah, my fucking aunt took his guns. He's like, "I don't even remember saying shoot me." Okay? It just runs in the family. This is like, this was decided long before I was here, right? You know? But he's a fun guy. I can see my father saying the same thing, which is lightly concerning. Over the break that I was gone as well, though, we had a fun little. I know this is a Smurf. It's supposed to be a Smurf in a ski mask. But it's also a 4th of July tribute, red, white, and blue, and things, right? And so I had gone to the red, white, and blue with some more family. I went there with my 2 cousins. My 2 young cousins are there, and their parents aren't there, so they're just kind of having fun hanging out with like the older cousins and shit, just shit that I would do when I was younger. And so they're talking, hanging out, and we're going back and forth, and they're like, "Who is connected to the fucking Bluetooth?" And they're like, most of the adults are trashed. I can't be because I'm on medication, and so they're all trashed. I'm the only one sober, and I'm watching, and it's like, whose fucking phone's on Bluetooth? So they're going around searching everyone's phone. They can't figure it out. They don't know. So it gets to 4th of July, the fireworks are going, and there's some interesting choices being played, right? We need some patriotic music. So the first one they started off with was the Imperial March, right? A great tribute to our nation and to the world of Endor, or whatever. A wonderful tribute to the Death Star, which is an allegory for the America. After that, it was followed by Flight of the Bees, at which point I start looking around like, what the fuck is going on? What is this? So I see my 12-year-old cousin on her phone selecting music. So, all right, we'll just let this go. And so at the end of it, we played out the fireworks. The finale of the fireworks was played out too. And actually, this was fantastic. The music where Luke, Chewie, and Han get the medals put onto their neck, where it's like, and it's like all big and brassy, and it's like expanding as it goes to the end. Pretty good choice, if I'm honest. There's a lot of other fun stuff. So we had some family friends there. They're a lot of fun. They get drunk. They like to party, right? They cook wonderful food as well. Some Southern in them. So it's in their blood. Their blood boils, and they just could put crawfish in it and get it going, right? So they got some shrimp and some fish put together that was so fucking good. You could tell the fish was so fucking salty. Like somebody must have knocked that in on accident, but that's okay. It was delicious all the same. I could only have so much fish, but the shrimp was fucking delicious. They have a daughter that's very funny. She's fun to have around. She'll ride on her bike. She'll say the funniest shit. For example, they got that song with Pitbull. I hope I don't get copyright stricken for this, but the da 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 da. And then he's like, fireball. That's the song, right? So, but basically at the end, every time she'd yell, fireball, right? And so we're watching the fireworks, and we have 3 or 4 people come over, and they'll sit by her, hang out for a minute, and like start moving around. And so my aunt comes over and she whispers, she goes, "Hey, how's your day?" She goes, "My dog is dead." Then turns to the fucking fireworks. Like, could you imagine that? I'm gonna pull that next time somebody starts talking to me when I'm like, I'm fucking busy. I have dead family. Thank you. And so my aunt's like, oh, that's not good. And so then she starts getting a little teary-eyed, and I'm like, oh, well, this is sad. Okay. And so my aunt starts cheering her up. We're all good. Okay. So now the fireworks are still going. This can't be more than a 10-minute period due to the fireworks not even being half over, so probably 5 minutes. So another friend comes over, right? And they're like, hey, how's it going? And she's like, my dog is dead. Like, did you not hear me, you fucking asshole? I asked again. She's like looking around like, my dog is dead, right? Okay, now, we're all having a laugh, huh? And so they're like, oh, I'm sorry. And so then she gets a little upset again. I'm like, damn, guys, you guys are fucking insensitive. You shut the fuck up and watch the booms, you know? And so as we're starting to get like big into the fireball or the fireworks show, and it's starting to get pretty intense. And this is a small campground we're watching these at. A fire, almost, not a fire, but a firework goes off too low, and it shoots up in the air and makes like a mushroom cloud almost. Like a fiery mushroom cloud shoots up probably 25, 30 feet in the air. And the girl who had just been explaining to everyone they better stop fucking around with the dog, she just goes, fireball! And like in your head, you just hear dun 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 dun, and just people screaming in the background. But it happened 3 more times. I don't think anyone was hurt. I'm sure they were all cleared of that, just in case that happened. But god damn, that was so funny, dude. I'm like, oh my god, I hope nobody's hurt. Fireball! Dun, 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 dun. The best. The food was wonderful. The time was great. I was very glad that we got to go. There's a lot of things that happen though. So that night we come back home, and there's a lot of surprises, right? There's still fireworks going probably 6 or 7 days after the 4th of July. And I'm going to cut out every single slurping sound because I know that's disgusting. And so after the 4th of July, we come here. It's a little still early, too. So it's like there's not even some days before the 4th of July even happens, right? This is just an early one. And I'm about to go to bed. My partner's not here, so I'm like, fuck it. I'm just going to stay up for a bit. Watching some television, hanging out. And at my front door, a person's face comes up to the edge, and they start beating on it. And a woman proceeds to yell while having something in a leash. Help me, please help me, please God, let me in, please help me, please, no, you have to let me in, help me. And I go, so I rush over to the door to make sure it's locked and push on it to make sure that she can't get in. And I'm like, bitch, keep running. Don't fucking, no. I'm not getting fucking killed over some old lady. She got scratches on her face. I'm like, probably schizophrenic as fuck. Like, if you don't get out of here, I'm gonna have to fucking kill you. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what the fuck is going on here. I don't need this lady having a PTSD flashback in my fucking kitchen, so I had to stab her. You know? So I see as she's yelling this, headlights are pulling up behind her on a truck. I'm like, fucking A. I'm like, bitch, keep moving. She goes, please, he's coming to get me. And I'm like, bitch, you gotta go. Get the fuck out of here. So I'm calling the police. I can't get them. My headphones are in, so I have to undo my headphones. I finally put it up. I'm like, ma'am, there's a lady beating on my fucking door talking about her husband and shit. And she's like, are you in blah, blah, blah? And I'm like, yeah. And all of a sudden, a dude comes out from the truck. and it's a cop. And I'm like, okay, they're here. I'm sorry, man. She's like, no, you're all good. I'm like, all right, put it away. And so they're talking to her out there, and I'm like, fuck, dude, I got my fucking weed in the car. Fuck, I gotta go get it. I can't, because here's the other thing. I'm not gonna wait for him to leave and have this crazy bitch on the loose while I'm trying to grab an eighth. You understand? So I'm trying to plot here. I'm like, fuck it, I gotta go now. I open up the door, I go out. I go grab the weed, I put it in my pocket. I'm walking in and I hear this lady, one, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm like, no, it's fucking fine. It's whatever. You're good. Just get home safe. And as I turn around and go inside, I hear her go, tap her dog. She pats her dog's head and she goes, you know, he's just so scared of fireworks. He is? You're terrified of fire. What is going on here? What the fuck? And the cops protecting and serving. The cop takes her and he goes, ma'am, where are you from? And she points. She goes, over there. And he goes, how about you start walking over there then? Okay? Because I got things to do. I start going. So he gets into his car. This lady stands up with her dog and starts to walk and tries to open the passenger seat, and you can see him go, get, goddamn, that way. And so then she starts walking that way. And that was perfect. So thank God they just let a schizophrenic lady go on the. I'm not saying she need to be taken somewhere, but it's just like, Jesus. Can we not get her resources? Does she not get a number walking away from there? Huh? She gets to just do that. She just doesn't even get any guidance. Can't we get her some iodine? Or maybe that kills. Lithium. What? She needs some sort of battery. Okay? Sincerely, though, I do think about that, and it is weird, because I just wonder, like, what the fuck? There's nothing else? Maybe not. I've been thinking about this. Think about doing a ritual, sacrificing something worthwhile that I find value into the gods. I've been trying to find something useful to do. So I've thought about going bald. Sacrifice my hair. But I couldn't imagine any demon that would need my hair that isn't a loser, you know? Or like an angel. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what side they're from. But just imagine some guy, whether he's radiant or disgusting and falling apart, and he just comes up and he's like, oh, perfect, this piece of hair, and he just plops it on his head like a fucking 3-year-old with a wig playing dress up, and he's like, here's a Honda Accord. I'm like, fuck, I didn't need this. Or like, it's gonna be one of those things where I'm like, here is my hair, and they're like, finally, you have fulfilled the contract for a child slave. And I'm like, no. Can I redeem it for something else? Can I not have the child slave? Like, no, this is what you've asked for. This is the highest gift that we can summon. I would rather it not be a child slave. And like, oh, too bad. You got 70 years of slavery ahead of us, bud. So that's not what I needed. I didn't need a Honda Accord or a child slave. He's 3. I have to care for him. What can he do? Anyway. But yeah, I've been thinking about that. I don't know how that's going to go. I've also been having a lot of fun. I spend too much time online. I'm going to go crazy. I'm going to end up being an old guy who has a lot of problems. Yada, yada. Now, I've been on TikTok. It's my favorite meter for the disparities in America and and the gap between the lower and upper class, right? And so there's one lady that's like, hi, I'm on TikTok because I own exotic animals. And so I'm going to do some pros and cons of these animals. And so she's talking about it. She's like, all right, so pros and cons of fennec foxes. They have such a high maintenance that it's debilitating and you can't ever leave your house. They rip everything and burrow holes into your couch and everything that you love. At sexual maturity, they become inconsolably aggressive even if you castrate them. So you have to kind of keep them locked in the cage for 8 months out of the year, just because once they're at that sexual maturity, they'll fuck anything to death. I've seen one fuck an orange in half, even through the citric acid. It just kept going. It didn't care. They will eat children, and they have razor sharp teeth. So just kind of keep that in mind as you raise your fennec fox. It's like, what the fuck, lady? What the fuck? Why have? Shoot it. Put it down. You don't need this. You need a fennec fox? She's got all kinds of shit. It's like, all right, so this is an emu. Pros and cons to having an emu. They lay 1 egg a month, so you get to eat 1 egg a month. And they eat 100 pounds of birdseed. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? But that's just a fun thing. There's another thing where there's just rich kids that are showing off houses and foreign furniture and things that they shouldn't be doing. Like, things that their rich parents are like, hey, you're making the block hot, baby. You're blowing up my spot, okay? Fucking, I have a house with foreign furniture in it. There's so much foreign furniture that this is technically considered Italy. And I have a house that is the size of a baseball field with an underground bunker just in case the dollar collapses, right? Just in case. And they're like, also to keep my 8 cars in, I have Santa's workshop and actual elves out back. And just shit like that. And they're just posting this on TikTok with no fucking awareness, you know? No fucking awareness that, like, other people are dying and starving and poor. And like, hello. Would you like to see my house that no one's used or been in certain corners of for 10 to 20 years? This is a showroom. No one can sit in it because my mom gets really mad if anyone does. It's like, what the fuck? It's insane. But yeah, so it's just TikTok has just turned into those kids and then some Aryan girl with fucking 9 exotic animals from fucking 7 continents. It's just fucking stupid. But much like everything, everything is stupid nowadays, right? I don't have a segue for this, but it is what it is. I had seen this thing. It's basically like I'll read. I can't read it off exactly, but the gist is this is not a clothing brand. This is a lifestyle brand. You're reading a shirt, okay? There's some fucking dude who's got fucking Osiris's from 2012 still on, fucking shoelaces that have never been fucking tied, right? And he's fucking sitting there with long hair that hasn't been washed in fucking years and pajama pants on, right? And then he's wearing this t-shirt. He's wearing a red t-shirt that costs $60, and he hasn't showered his body in 3 days, right? And so then you're reading the back of the shirt, and it's like, this is not a clothing brand. This is a lifestyle brand. And wearing this signifies your beliefs are the exact same and in line with ours, and you hate the exact same people as us. I think it was like Obey or something. I don't remember what it was. But it's basically like this thing being like, if you're wearing this brand, you better not believe in transphobia or xenophobia or fucking homophobia or anything. You better not be scared of shit. Alright? That's why this brand's called Bravery, because you're not scared of anything. I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? Like, what the fuck? What a cuck shirt to wear. Just be like, it's just the same thing as like the girls that wear I love black dick or like Black Lives Matter, and you know it's because they just suck off every dude at a party that's just got I can tell the amount of melanin in a guy by whenever they put their cock in his mouth or whatever whatever, you get it, right? So they just, I'm just saying it's the same thing. Okay, it's just a cucky thing to be like. It's like whenever people wear shirts that are like destroy race, kill all racists. And it's like, what? Like, what are you saying? What are you saying? It's just like the cuckiest thing for a white guy to be like, kill all racism. It's like, all right, yeah, I also want racism gone. I was watching this video today, or like a while ago or whatever, and there's people that have shirts like this anyways, just out in public, but it says, kill your local pedophile. You do it. I'll tell you what, I'll just stay away from the pedophiles. You go kill them. What? It's just like, What the fuck? Why do clothing brands have to have this stance? It's like listen, if you are a turf, or if you don't know what a turf is, you can't wear my clothing brand. You need to educate yourself, and then you need to get a gun license, and then not own a gun, and then you can wear this clothing brand. Because then you stand on the rights of education and then not having a gun. That's the only way you could wear this clothing brand. Oh, you're not a high diver? Huh? Too bad. You can't wear my wavy gear, bud. Well, it's a shirt. It's an overpriced shirt on an unwashed man. This is just something I wanted to say. Chanel West Coast. I know but if we were, I know pedophiles are up on the list, but if we do get through all the pedophiles, right? If all the pedophiles are taken away, jailed, whatever else, can we just figure out what Chanel West Coast is doing and criminalize that? I just don't. The laughing on the Fantasy Factory, right? When she before the plastic surgery, when she was before the rapping, right? When she was still ugly, and the best thing that she had was laughing next to Rob Dyrdek. I miss that Chanel West Coast. Whatever's happening now, she should be tripped. I mean, if you see Chanel West Coast, stick out your foot. Just stick out your foot. Trip that bit. Don't actually trip her. But she should stop going wherever you're going. Chanel, if you're watching this, wherever you're going, stop and just evaluate it, because it's probably a bad idea. Okay? Go back to the Fantasy Factory. All right? Chanel, we miss you. Come back to the Fantasy Factory. God, that dumb bitch. Oh, fuck. I was thinking today, and this is probably going to be my last story of the pod. I appreciate you guys being here. I was thinking today about I used to be weird. I was thinking about the shirts and stuff, the homophobic, transphobic, and I was thinking about why I hate that shit, right? Like, having that on your shirt just so somebody eventually can see that and be like, well, you are a racist. Well, your girlfriend's short, so you're the local pedophile. You know, it's just like shit can just be turned on you just so quickly when you wear that. It's just not worth it. And I'm thinking about that homophobia and such. And I used to be, now, and I mean this, okay, because you see a homophobe and you think they hate gay people. I was legitimately scared of the gays. Do you understand? I would wake up in hot sweats, feeling like they were chasing my butt, right? I would read about their agendas and the things they would do, right? They're running for governor, they're running for senator, they want my children gay, right? And I was scared. I didn't want to be gay. That's one thing was that, yeah. I was afraid if a dude touched my dick for too long, I'd be too gay to undo it. I thought it was like a curse at midnight, right? And it was like a werewolf's curse. That's how people become gays. Is if a gay guy bites your dick, you have to kill him, and then everyone else turns not gay. But I had gone to a friend's house, and it was for Christmas. We were going over there, and basically they had just been hanging out, and they got me wine. So the friend warns me, like, hey, my cousins are gay. They're fine. They're normal people, but just so you know, because she knows I'm scared of gays. I'm not. I'm like, this gay's here. Where? Point him out just in case they have an agenda. You know. And so we sit there, have a few glasses of wine. We're talking. They're very fun people. They're very cool. And one of them just start talking, and so like we're all having another conversation. They start talking louder and louder until eventually their conversation is the one that's going on. This isn't by any means any kind of what do you call that, selfishness or flamboyancy that's taking the conversation away. No, it's just everyone has slowly turned their attention towards them. And so as they're talking, he's like, well, I mean, come on. And his partner's like, stop, not right now, stop. Wait. And he goes, oh, really? Has anyone ever been more ripped than Christ on the cross? And it was the best thing I'd ever seen. I just finally left church. I didn't know how to feel, and that was one thing I really appreciated. Seeing if Jesus is homophobic, right? You didn't smite him down. I think he was fine with it. So yeah, I mean, Jesus surrounded by 12 men all day who were just fishers of men. What are they fishing for, bud? And so, I mean, I'm sure Jesus was fine with it, but a lot of fun. It was my first gay exercise. They welcomed me. They were very nice people. I appreciated them. Don't know why I brought that up. I was just thinking about it with the t-shirt and shit, but whatever. Thanks for being here, dummies. I know it's the first one in a while. Like I said, sometimes I'm going to disappear. I'm not proud of it. I don't love it, but sometimes I might. I will come back, though, I promise. I love you guys. Thank you for being here, dummies. I hope you enjoyed this.